and the network is going to be 10.0.40 subnet, which is my connected interface, advertised in area 0. And I'm going to advertise the 10 dot network, 10.4 subnets. 10.4 are the loopback interfaces in area 0. Done. Now, once we are done with these things, the next part is we need to get back to my FMC, where I go to the device management, and from there we will be getting into the configuration. Okay, so I think we decided to go with the area 10. So let me just quickly change this. Area 0 also will work, but as per the variation, as we want this to be in the area 10. So let's change this to area 10. That will change automatically to area 10. So likewise, I will do the same thing on the FTD as well. We'll go to the routing. Now under the routing, we go to the OSPF, and under the OSPF, we need to add a new area. Process ID 1 is already enabled. So if I want, I can run a different process ID, but the thing is, when you run different process ID, redistributions become mandatory. So I want to keep it same. So we'll use the same process ID. Don't change this. The area ID will be a 10. And this is going to be my normal area. We're not using any stubs or those kind of things. So we'll keep it as a normal area. And which network you want to advertise? I want to advertise the DMZ4 subnet. So I'm going to say DMZ4 connected interface. That's a connected network which is running 10.0.40 subnet with /24. That's the subnet which is connecting to router 4. So I'm going to select that DMZ4 connected network. And rest of the options, we can leave it to defaults. We can add authentication, many other options. We don't need them because generally we don't do the advanced routing part on the firewalls, and that's not really required. So as you can see, this is my area 10, and we'll quickly go ahead and deploy this. And once we are done with the deployment, what I should see is the router 4, the neighborship is expected. So what we'll do is we'll simply select the FTD1 and click on deploy. And as the deployment process goes on, we'll try to go to the router 4, as well as I should go and check on the FTD as well as on the router 1, because the router 1 also expected to get the routes. So I'll keep it router 1 and the router 4. So the router 1 and 4 should automatically exchange the routes without any kind of redistribution, because as per the normal routing, we expect the router 1 to advertise these routes back to the FTD from area 0. As this is the border router, it is expected to advertise the routes without any redistribution or without any additional things, which is something more common. So let's see the routing tables before and after. That will make a clear difference. So we'll issue the commands. So as you can see on the router 1, we're getting the 3 routes. And once the deployment process is finished, I should expect 10.4 will be coming here. And here I should see 10.3 and 4 because the redistribution is already done. So I expect the RIP routes also should come up. As you can see, the neighborship is up while it is deploying. So, and I should expect the 10.3s. Now these 10.3s are coming from the router 3 RIP routes. And these are the redistributed routes. You can see there are some redistribution routes coming from the RIP, and these 10.1s are coming from the router 1. And also I'm getting the default route, which is coming from the ISP side. And likewise here also, I should be able to see the routes. That's what end-to-end route exchange. At the same time, if you want to have a quick verification on the FTD also, you can use the command show.ospf if you have the console. You can also see these 10.1s and 10.4s are coming. Okay, so 10.1, 10.4 routes are already coming. 10.3s are coming through RIP, so you don't see them here because they are RIP routes. They are learned through RIP. You can see the routes coming through RIP as well as we have the static routing. So if I say show route static, I should be able to see the default route. So both the sites, we see end-to-end route exchange. Now, this is very important before you get into the actual policies, because once you start applying the policies, once you start permit or deny the traffic, the prerequisite is you must have the connectivity. That's what we did in the IP addressing section. And the second thing, you need to make sure that you have the end-to-end routing. That is something you also need to keep in mind.